the grand final debate of the World Debate Institute 2007's World Schools Debate Workshop. We have 6 outstanding students from different parts of the world who have made it to the final round, and now they compete to see who will be the champion for 2007. My name is Alfred C. Snider. I'm director of the workshop, and I'm very pleased to be judging this debate along with 2 very esteemed colleagues. James Probert from the English E.J. Garcia, the National And now it's time for this exciting debate to take place.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eun-Sung Yang. I come from South Korea, and I am the first speaker of the proposition presenting the case to you. So the first question that I must ask all of you is, what is beauty? Do I look beautiful to you? Do you look beautiful to yourself when you look in the mirror? But if I was fat, short-legged, short-armed, all wrinkly, bald, with small eyes as tiny as a penny, with a crooked nose, would you call me beautiful? The most probable answer that you will give is a no. However, that is the societal prejudice that we have. We have to realize that beauty is not absolute, and that various forms of beauty must be accepted in this society. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to discuss upon the motion of this House would ban the elective cosmetic surgeries, and we as a proposition firmly are for this motion. And by this motion, by ban, we mean that we will make illegal and make punishable by law certain practices. And by the elective cosmetic surgeries, we refer to surgeries done without medical necessities, but only in the purpose of enhancing one's physical beauty. Which means that this will not be including cases of reconstructive surgeries for medical uses. And to go on to our arguments, we have 3 arguments that we are here to present to you. The first, that these elective cosmetic surgery is a strive for a wrong form of perfection, which leads to an unrighteous lack of diversity. And our second point will be that banning elective cosmetic surgeries will promote the public health. And our third argument, which will be presented by our second speaker, will be about how this policy will lead to a lessened polarization inside the society. So, to go on to our arguments, our first argument, as I mentioned, was that the elective cosmetic surgery is a strive for a wrong form of perfection, which leads to an unrighteous lack of diversity. In the past, when we did not have the cosmetic surgery, the diversity was accepted. It did not really matter whether you were fat or thin. It did not matter whether you had black eyes or blue eyes. It did not matter whether you had blonde hair or black hair. It did not matter whether you had black or white or yellow skin. People lived in the society without having to risk their health, without having to risk their lifetime decisions just because of matters of beauty. However, in the present world, in the status quo with these elective cosmetic surgeries, what happens is that the society tells you that you're ugly. People tell you that you're ugly. What happens is that in Europe, 9 out of 10 women in Europe are unsatisfied with their appearances. They feel that they're ugly. And 1/3 of the Korean young girls in their age of 18 have declared that they had plastic surgery already on any part of their body. And what happens is that these operations are not only for the strive for the beauty. In cases of Michael Jackson and many Asian people having plastic surgeries, what happens is that this also leads to inferiority that you feel because of your race. No, thank you, ma'am. And for example, in the majority of the Korean plastic surgeries are about the double lids in your eyes because they think this Western type of beauty is much more beautiful and it's a more absolute form of beauty. No, thank you. And in the case of Michael Jackson, what happened was that he even changed his skin color because he did not like the fact that he was black, because he felt that his race was inferior. No, thank you. And what we're saying is that due to these elective cosmetic surgeries, you're given the knife to harm yourself. And because people know that they can force you into harming yourself, they still tell you that you're ugly, that you should strive for another form of beauty. Well, however, what we're saying is that when everyone is striving to achieve a unified form of beauty in the society, it is hard to achieve the diversity. What we're saying, no thank you, is that people spend a great amount of their money, people spend a great amount of their health to achieve this wrong form of perfect beauty. And what happens is that, no thank you, what happens is that, these decisions, as I will explain in my second point, are often lead to irrevocable defects and ruins your life. Now to go on to our second point, which is about how banning elective cosmetic surgeries promotes the public health. You may have heard of the side effects that these plastic surgeries could give to you. There are many cases where you see newspaper articles or any reportings of how women suffer scarrings, how women suffer internal bleedings in their body because as a side effect of the plastic surgery. You hear stories about how some woman having plastic surgery got her abdominal muscles exploded and had to suffer her life about it. And you hear incidents where the girls lengthening their leg bones became lame and couldn't, in some extreme cases, couldn't even walk around. Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that in every surgery there is a risk, and don't you believe that what your examples are extreme cases?
Well, the thing is, we see these examples every day. In many of the cosmetic surgeries, the elective cosmetic surgeries that occur in this world, these defects occur very frequently. And the more scary part about this is that these occur frequently, and some of these often lead to irrevocable defects in your life. It cannot even be altered and bettered by this cosmetic surgery that they love. Let me give you an example of a woman in Korea who was so obsessed with cosmetic surgery. She is known as the fan woman in Korea, and she is a great example of how women or anybody should not go through elective cosmetic surgeries. No, thank you. But the thing is, what happened to her is that after she got elective cosmetic surgeries, her face literally sort of blew up like a balloon, and she does not look like a human being anymore. She looks more like a monster, and many people regard her appearance as a monster. And the thing is, she cannot have her appearance back. Her appearance is not coming back. So what we're saying today is that people need not be forced to become defected Barbie dolls. We need a motivation in the society to accept this diversity of beauty in the society. We need to have a motivation for the society to accept the various forms of beauty that are existing in this world. So what we are promoting is that take away the knife of inferiority that you're allowing these people to stab themselves with. Take away the dangers that are inhabitant in this elective cosmetic surgeries. And because of these reasons, we beg you to propose. Thank you.
The speaker spoke for 7 minutes, 46 seconds.
Good afternoon. My name is Varun Tyagi. I am from Boston, Massachusetts, and today I'll be speaking on behalf of the opposition. First of all, I would like to present this hypothetical situation. Suppose you had ears that stuck out to the extent that everyone in school called you Dumbo. At first it doesn't bother you, but the jokes get more offensive. Your self-esteem plummets, and before you know it, you begin battling depression, a serious medical problem. Then you find out that you can solve your problems simply through cosmetic surgery. How wonderful does that sound? The proposition today is suggesting that this House would ban elective cosmetic surgeries, and this example is a reason why this motion must fall. Now, first of all, I would like to start by rebuttaling two of the arguments presented by the first speaker of the proposition. The first thing is that it is a wrong form of perfection. Now, the question here, is the problem really cosmetic surgeries, or is it society's outlook? Society is viewing people, defining perfection as an outer appearance. And the truth of the matter is, as much as we wish this was not the case, no thank you, and in the utopian world this would surely not be the case, that is how society is at this present time. People are judged all the time by their outer appearance, and this is why we cannot let this motion stand. So now, they provided statistics that in fact help my argument. And this statistic is that 9 out of 10 European women feel that they are ugly. Yes, that is a problem. And what happens when people feel the strong feeling that they are ugly? They feel depressed, unhappy. By allowing cosmetic surgeries, we could improve their quality of life and make them feel much more secure.
What information, sir?
And their second, no thank you. And their second argument is that this promotes public health. Well, this is actually not the case. They've listed side effects, extreme examples, freak accidents, claiming that they happen every day, when in fact they're misleading you to believe that these accidents are much more common than they actually are in real life. And I will explain that as part of my arguments. So now I will explain our case division. As the first speaker, I will say that this ban is revoking basic, inalienable freedoms of choice. Furthermore, my second argument will be that cosmetic surgeries have the capability of boosting individual self-esteem, security, and improve the quality of life at zero expense to others. Now, why would you oppose this? My second speaker will come up and explain how, even though we wish it was not the case, society really does judge people on outer appearance, and that this is a reason why we must let this motion fall. My third speaker will come up addressing issues that come out throughout the debate in the form of rebuttals, and finally I will be back again to deliver the reply speech summarizing the debate. So now I will move on to my first argument, which is that this motion is taking away basic freedoms of choice. Part of the thing here is that people have the option to do what they want. It is their body. They are not harming anyone else with this motion. Sir. No, they're not harming anyone else by taking cosmetic surgeries.
What do we mean, sir?
Many nations were built upon freedom, and this freedom of will is inalienable. If people want to do something, they can do something, and the government does not have the right to take away this will when it is not harming anyone. So yes, danger. They brought up danger. Yes, there is danger, but look at our current governments. We let people do many dangerous things. Let's see, let's start with drinking, gambling. Drinking is something that people do every day. They do it. They're putting themselves at risk. It has been proven that this is a health hazard. And furthermore, when people are intoxicated, they can do things that even hurt other people. And so we allow this. Furthermore, we allow gambling, which can allow people to ruin their lives, ruin their families' lives. So why not allow this cosmetic surgery, which only puts the individual at risk under their own free will? What is the problem here? And secondly, safety. The fact is, this practice has been going on forever. It started long ago, centuries ago in India, and now it is growing at a rapid pace. No thank you. And the thing is, yes, there are mistakes, but due to the current government and liabilities and insurance and everything, this practice is under very close vigil. It is constantly being policed. Bad surgeons are punished, and the way they are punished is such that they lose their license. They can no longer practice. They are fined heavily, and for that reason, they themselves are very careful. The horror stories presented are in fact very, very old. In many cases, they are decades old. Furthermore, they provide examples such as the fan woman and Michael Jackson. And when you analyze these cases, the fact is that these people are ones who had repeated cosmetic surgeries. It's not simply one surgery. These are people who indulge themselves. And as we know, any indulgence is bad. Now I'll move on to my second argument, which is security. When people have these cosmetic surgeries, they can cure themselves. Suppose they're depressed, they can raise their self-esteem and feel more secure and improve their overall quality of life at zero expense to others. Now, why would we accept this proposition? Yes.
You're constantly saying that there's something wrong with these people, but the proposition here is claiming that we are harming a perfectly healthy human body. What is wrong with it?
We are not harming a body. That is what I'm saying. This practice is much safer than ever at this point in time. It gets safer and safer every day. The doctors understand the risk and they know the consequences for when they mess up. And furthermore, these people are taking it upon themselves. As the motion defines, this is an elective cosmetic surgery. It is voluntary. No one is forcing it to happen. And so now, who is at risk here? It is the individual doing it, no one else. If there is a freak accident, it affects the individual and no other person. They're doing it out of their own free will, and this free will is something that simply cannot be taken away. The end result is that these people are more secure, they're happier, they're living a better life. And so you can say that this is a waste of doctors' times, or since these people do not have actual problems. And the fact is, depression is something which is at an all-time high right now, and we cannot allow depression to hinder society and make people feel to an extent that they really cannot feel happy. So in the end, it comes down to basic freedom. This is about freedom of will. It is one's own body. They can do what they want to their body, especially in the case that they're not harming anyone else. I have given numerous examples of freedoms that are given to people that actually can harm other people. And since this harms no one, why should we allow this motion to prevail? So now, we look at this question. You have, by opposing this motion, you are allowing people to make it such that they can improve their life, their quality of life, and be happier people as a whole. So why let this motion stand? Thank you.
Speakers spoke for 7 minutes, 52 seconds.
Hello, I'm Tim Auschwitz from the beautiful country of Slovenia. And you know what? I have a beautiful girlfriend. I think she's the most beautiful person in the world. And one time I was really shocked. She asked me why I'm with such an ugly person. She felt that she's so ugly, as do 9 out of 10 Europeans. And you know what? They feel like that because of the societal pressure that is up upon them. And the tool, in order for them to make them more beautiful, what the society thinks is right is just wrong. Because the society seems like it's a savior, providing them with a tool in order to say, don't worry, you're ugly, but we'll make you more beautiful. But you know what I say? Every individual person in this room is beautiful. First, I would like to negate their points and then I'll go to my case. Okay, so therefore, first one was, suppose you had huge ears. Nobody in society would accept you. But the case with huge ears is that in society, those ears are actually a medical problem because you hear less and less. And under our proposition, they can be repaired. Such kinds of human abnormalities can be repelled. Then they say that they feel ugly. The depression in society is at all-time high. Why is that? That is because of societal pressure. And will cosmetical surgeries, who only support that, actually solve the problem? No, it won't. It will only enlarge the problem. Because when they'll get cosmetic surgery, they'll just feel that they're again not beautiful enough and do it again and again. And more people will want to do it and risk their lives at the same time. Their first argument, it is not harming anybody. It's only harming yourself. But you know what? In today's society, you cannot commit suicide. Then he said that we have allowed things like smoking, like gambling. Let's take an example of smoking. It is being banned throughout Europe. It is being banned, and smokers' rates are exponentially getting lower. And that is what will happen if we ban cosmetic surgery. Gambling. People under 18 cannot gamble. And afterwards, it is their decision. And it is not promoted in any way. But in today's society, because of that force, it is heavily promoted. Then they said that it is security, that it is under no expense for anybody. That it was a practice gone long times ago. But you know what were the practices long time ago? Slavery. People were being killed. People were being taught as less. All those peoples who were enslaved. That does not make it right. They said that those people are actually protected because companies have lawyers which make sure that that does not happen. But you know what? Only the recovery rate, which is there every single time you have the surgery, is so high. You need to be in hospitals for 2-3 months, having excruciating pain because your body has been changed, your skin has been torn down, and new skin has been put on. Should we suffer that? And secondly, when it does go wrong, the consequences are horrible, and the consequences cannot be in any way done better. That is why we should ban surgery. Because people will never be happy. Even when they have surgery, they will again strive for perfection, which they will not be able to achieve. You will not be able to achieve that perfection through surgery. Because society's levels will just go higher and higher. Because the only reason this surgery is here today, because Hollywood and companies like that make money out of it. And it's a circle. One guy fills the Hollywood with money, they promote such extraordinary beautiful bodies, and the other guy promotes surgeries into forcing people to have those surgeries. And that is just wrong. I'll be talking to you in my argument about promoting democracy. You know what? Those surgeries are incredibly expensive. Surgeries can only be afforded by the higher class. And the higher class, which will be forced, will afford those surgeries. They will be different than the lower class in today's society. And that will create some kind of differential and segregation between the higher and lower class. And in today's world, when the main point of the European Union is promoting equality with diversity, that should not be what the European Union and every government in today's world is promoting. I would like to take a point.
Isn't your argument under assumption that all high-class people will have plastic surgery?
No, my argument, yes, it is. It is under the assumption that they're forced by society. As I have told you, 9 out of 10 want to have the surgery. And when they have money to get that surgery, because they feel it's the need they have, they will get their surgery if they have the money. So, getting back to my point, the lower class will get segregated. In today's society, we should not allow the tools by which those Hollywood people promote difference between rich and poor to be a tool to have the people in today's world segregated. Furthermore, what also happens is we lose racial features. For example, people like in Korea want to lose their eyebrows, so they have cosmetic surgeries. They erase the features of your family, of your history, of your own flesh and blood. That is discriminatory to every single person because it forces them into doing something. It is discriminatory because the upper class can afford it and the lower class cannot, and they're all pushed into achieving some kind of perfection, which in no case is right. Women are beautiful. Every single person is beautiful. And that should be what today's society is striving for. Before that, I'd like to take a point.
You're assuming that the lower class gets segregated. Then how come today in our current world where this is permitted, the lower class is not segregated based upon cosmetic surgery?
Actually, if you take a look at this, how many people in the most richest places of Hollywood have cosmetic surgery? And then take a look at a world of countries which GDP is about lower than 12,000 euros. How many people there have cosmetic surgeries? It is segregation, it is discrimination. And in today's world, where equality is one quality which is promoted more than everything else, that should not be allowed. And that kind of enforcing on each individual's human bodies, like homicide is not, like suicide is not allowed, that should not be allowed. Because by taking away the tool that those companies are using as a mean to promote some kind of perfection, we're taking away the basis they're using to promote it. And less people will strive for that perfection, because they'll see the real beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The real beauty is my girlfriend. The real beauty is every individual's person view upon the world. And that is the beauty we should be promoting. Thank you very much.
For 8 minutes, 3 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am Duke Dong-Hwan Lee from Korea Daewon Foreign Language High School. Now, as the second speaker of the opposition, I'll go on giving out some rebuttals, and after the rebuttals, I'll giving out our constructive case. Now, the second speaker has came up and mentioned about his girlfriend. Sir, no offense, sir, but why do you think that she questioned her beauty? Who do you think caused her to question her beauty? Don't you think that the society has influenced her? Not the cosmetic surgery, not the fact that there is cosmetic surgery that can enhance her beauty. Don't you think that the society has influenced her? Ladies and gentlemen, if the society is the problem, why are we supposed to blame cosmetic surgery, elective cosmetic surgery? And they have said before, and giving out that they have admitted the assumption that only rich people get cosmetic surgery, and that the society is forcing people to concentrate on outer appearance. If the society is moving this kind of phenomena, aren't we supposed to change that? Aren't we supposed to look at it a different way, not blaming the cosmetic surgery?
Point, sir.
Sorry, man. And then they came up mentioning some points that they identified the need of this motion is that we should not let the society and the people to judge people on their outer appearance and get cosmetic surgery as a wrong form of perfection. Ladies and gentlemen, again, they're claiming that the society is the problem. The society is driving people to concentrate on outer appearance. And they have mentioned several examples, and they have mentioned Hollywood for several times. They're saying that Hollywood movies, magazines, these kind of media are driving people to concentrate on outer appearance. If that is the problem, are we supposed to regulate these media? Wouldn't that be a more efficient way of letting people to not concentrate on outer appearance, but their human nature? We agree that people, about the proposition saying that all people are beautiful. They are. However, the society is not looking at that way. Sorry, man. In the end, no matter how people prove that they are beautiful in the inner side, in the end, the majority will care about the outer appearance. This is the society. This is the problem in the society. This is not caused by elective cosmetic surgery. They have said that the society is a problem as well. But are we supposed to blame people creating these kind of phenomena, not the cosmetic surgery?
Sir.
Sorry, ma'am. Now to move on, what the riskiness of this cosmetic surgery that I mentioned before. Ladies and gentlemen, the possibility of being harmed by these cosmetic surgery has been decreased immensely because of advanced technology through years. And they're simply saying that we should take away the rights of the basic rights of humans, the freedom of choice. Basically be saying that it will harm themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, it is their own will. Why should the state intervene their own will? Sorry, ma'am. And to move on, ladies and gentlemen, our third argument is that this society judges people on outer appearance. Along with our principal concentration of this motion that it is the people's right, basic right, to make their own choices and to do whatever they want on their body. Along with that, sorry ma'am, along with that, we are saying that we should not blame cosmetic surgeries for the social phenomenon of concentrating on outer appearance.
Point.
Sorry ma'am. In reality, it is unfortunate, but inevitable. It is an inevitable fact that people are judged on outer appearance. But this is caused by numerous reasons, not by cosmetic, the existence of elective cosmetic surgeries. We are saying that the proposition has targeted the wrong thing. We're saying that the source of this problem is somewhere else, not the cosmetic surgery. For instance, they have mentioned before, the media. Ladies and gentlemen, in magazines, they portray a lot of women that are skinny, that are hot. However, this is not the problem of cosmetic surgery. Are we supposed to regulate those magazines in order to change people's point of view in the society? Because they're concentrating on outer appearance, but they're blaming cosmetic surgeries. This is not right, ladies and gentlemen. The proposition side is simply saying that this society is a utopian society. That if we ban these elective cosmetic surgeries, we will solve all these kind of problems of the concentration of outer appearance. Yes, ma'am.
But sir, wouldn't you agree that if we take away the cosmetic surgery, the tool that actually changes human body, if you take away this possibility, the people will be forced to come to its senses and view people as different body features, different facial features.
But don't you think that will be more efficient to attack the source of this problem? You have identified that the source of this problem of concentrating on outer appearance is media. You have came up with the example of Hollywood, and you restricted your examples into Hollywood. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a worldwide issue. It's not all the places worldwide are like Hollywood, like influencing people to become to concentrate on outer appearance. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I have came up here and told you that the core of this issue is not cosmetic surgery. That people concentrating on outer appearance, that kind of phenomenon has came from somewhere else. For instance, media. Hence, we believe that this motion is invalid because they have identified the need in a wrong way. And hence, we should oppose this motion. And later on, my third speaker will fortify our case and others. Thank you.
Speaker spoken for 8 minutes, 3 seconds.
Look at me. Am I sufficient? Am I beautiful enough to stay into the society for which the oppositional side stands for? Or is it wrong that I'm, for example, wearing glasses? Is it wrong that my nose might be too wide? Is it wrong that I may have a couple of pounds too much? Is this wrong? Am I insufficient? Am I not beautiful enough? Because these are the values for which the oppositional side stands for. And the values of the proposition are that, in fact, all people are not beautiful in this society. My name is Ana Jovancic. I'm the third speaker of the propositional theme, and I come also from the beautiful country of Slovenia. They have, and so the central issue of the debate was actually posed into the second speech, which was the question, the simple question, who to blame? It's not whether or not the plastic surgeries are good or bad. It's who to blame. And we agree that the society might be the perpetrator, but the plastic surgery is a weapon with which we in fact harm people. Plastic surgery is the weapon with which we make the cut. Plastic surgery is what harms people. The logic of the proposition team is simple. If we take away this knife, if we take away the weapon that is actually harming us, we will not have it anymore. We will not have it anymore that you should take plastic surgery because you're not beautiful enough. We take away the means. And if we take away the means, the people will be forced to acknowledge that in this world we in fact have different body types, that in this world we in fact have different facial features. And acknowledge it. It is not you're ugly, you're insufficient, you are not according to the canon. Change. So first of all, I would like to rebut their arguments, and then we establish our own. The first argument was the so glorified freedom of choice. Is that everyone has a choice. Everyone has a choice to make whether or not he or she wants to take plastic surgery. But is our society really allowing us everything to do? Can we, for example, as our second speaker told you, make suicide? Can we, for example, cut ourselves and not being sent to the psychiatric institution? Can we do anything we want with our body? No. It is in fact, we are in fact limiting our freedom of choice. And as our second speaker also told you, we are also limiting the consumption of the harmful things. We are limiting the consumption of alcohol by making restrictions. We are limiting the consumption of cigarettes by limiting the spaces in which you can actually smoke. We are limiting everything. And we are agreeing that the media is influential, that the media is the main influence. But again, I state, the plastic surgery is a weapon. And though you might have a choice, whether or not you think that you're beautiful or not, you might have a choice. It is sometimes not your choice to make whether or not, if the society pushes you so far. Yes, sir.
We acknowledge the fact that cosmetic surgeries are the weapon, but we do not think that is the motivation. Do you think that is the motivation?
I think we have already come to our senses that the motivation is a society around us. But as I have already explained to you in our definition, if we take away the plastic surgery, if we would ban plastic surgery, there would be no more of the one to actually change it. Because it simply will not be possible. It simply will not be possible, and the people will be forced to acknowledge different body types, different face types. And their second argument, because some people have such low self-esteem that they simply need to change. But I ask you, why do they need to change? Where is it written what is beauty and what is not beauty? Where is it written that somebody has the right stuff to go on with his time without plastic surgery and somebody has to do it because he or she is not sufficiently beautiful enough? Because plastic surgeries are in fact praying for the people with low self-esteem, are in fact praying for the people who are wondering, am I or am I not beautiful enough? Am I or am I not sufficiently beautiful to exist in this society? Again, if we take away the plastic surgery, if we ban it, if we push it away, if it is not available enough, the people will simply see it. It is not there. This is my face, this is my body, this is what I have. And this is what I have to work with, this is what it is, and it is mine, and it is what I am here for. Yes, sir.
Don't you think it's a much more efficient to allow cosmetic surgery than to address society and change society as a whole?
no, I do not think, because I think that what plastic surgery is doing is only putting, for example, a band-aid on a wound. But if you change the society, if we take away the means which people are actually forced to change, we are making it much more better. Because what the depression actually causes. If you have a depression and go to plastic surgery, it is wrong, because it will never be perfect. Your nose will never be perfect. Your nose will never be exactly how you imagine it. So you say, okay, and even if you are satisfied, so your nose is fixed up. What about my stomach, for example? What about my breast? What about this? What about that? Are those body parts sufficiently beautiful? Are they not? And it drives into the vicious circle of more and more depression. More and more, okay, this is good, but this is not. This is good, and this is not. And if the plastic surgery goes wrong, how do you think the person feels then if the plastic surgery is gone? It of course plunges in even more depression. And as for the third argument, which was the society judges people on outer appearance. Yes, we completely agree with that. Society does judge people on their outer appearance. And again, I state that with plastic surgery, it only fuels it. It only fuels that you should change. It is not whether or not you would like to have plastic surgery. It is not whether or not you would like to change it. It is that you should change it. So, to go on with our arguments. Our first argument was that we strive for the wrong form of perfection. We're striving for some sort of unknown ideal that we should all measure up to. This is so critical. The people, for example, in America, in some other states, are changing their own racial features. We have given you an example of Korean people changing their eyelids so they look more European. And I'm going to give you more examples. For example, the Latin American women who are actually altering their body types, which are larger hip bones, so they actually break their hip bones and put them further closer together for them to achieve the effect of narrow hips. Or for example, women who have their lower ribs removed so their waist may be narrower. Is this the right thing that we want to do? Is this the thing that we want to strive for? This unknown barbidal ideal of perfection? Or should we just take that tools of the society that wants us to change away and force people to accept what they are, that there are in fact different body types, that there are in fact different facial types? Our second argument was the promoting of public health because of the gross encounter of accidents that are in plastic surgery. More and more plastic surgeries there are, the more and more accidents happen because of the simple quantity of people there are. And these are not only freak accidents that we have achieved. These are also normal accidents. For example, that one breast implant does not grow inside the tissue and actually becomes sick. Or for example, from the liposuction, that it gets in fact infected, so the woman or man is deformed for the life. These are not freak accidents. These are happening every single day. And our third argument was in fact promoting democracy, that we will in fact have beautiful upper class and the ugly lower class because the simple meaning of prices inside plastic surgery. So what we have given you, the side of the proposition has given you today, is the look on the world without plastic surgery. The look of the world where people will be judged as they are with the body that they have, and not the simplified version of uniform perfection that the opposition has given you. So I beg you to propose the notion.
Speakers spoke for 8 minutes, 45 seconds.
Hello, my name is Lee-Hyun-Ji from South Korea. First, as a third speaker, I'll start off with rebutting on the proposition's arguments and further on strengthen the opposition's arguments. First, what is beauty? The proposition asked, and they asked us if it's short-legged or if it's a crooked nose, and they asked us if that is beauty. And we acknowledge that beauty is different to all people. But also that society urges people to accept one kind of beauty where a tall woman, a woman with big breasts, a woman with a tall nose, a woman with big eyes is accepted as a beautiful woman. But we ask throughout our speeches and our POIs that whether cosmetic surgery is the reason, is the core problem of this happening. First, to address the proposition's arguments. They said their first argument was that elective cosmetic surgery leads to lack of diversities. And their first speaker actually said that with no cosmetic surgery, diversity will be accepted, and it does not matter whether people are living in society if they're not diverse. But we ask, is this addressing the core reason of the problem? Well, the opposition believes that if we make cosmetic surgery illegal without addressing these society problems, we believe that this will lead to more problems. People will have no way to address their stress, to relieve their stress and boost up their self-esteem. Because the reason why these people are having cosmetic surgery and sometimes having stress from society and thinking they're not beautiful, it's not because of cosmetic surgery. And as proposition admitted, it's because of the society. So why are we addressing cosmetic surgery as the reason why people have these surgeries? And furthermore, to elaborate on that point, we believe that if we cut off a way to relieve their stress, to upheave their self-esteem, if we cut off that way, plastic surgery, we believe that it will be more detrimental to our society. It may bring to an illegal black market that will bring more harm because these people are not the problem of these people feeling not beautiful is not solved. It's just that they don't have a legal way of solving their problems. So we believe that this justifies that actually banning cosmetic surgery will lead to more harms. And second, they had their second argument was that it promotes public health. And they have given us accidents that happened to women who had their legs disabled because they got a leg lengthening surgery. But we ask you that we acknowledge that those are hideous accidents and those are not best not to happen. But we ask you, doesn't everything come with a risk? Not only plastic surgery, but if I had a brain surgery, or if I had my appendix removed, that also brings risks too. And also, as our first and second speaker emphasized on, because the cosmetic surgery technology has been developed over decades of years, we are constantly developing into a technology that will bring less people into having side effects, and we believe that this has been a safer norm for the societies, and we believe that what the proposition has tried to make their argument strong by by presenting a few freak accidents and telling you about them, but we believe that that is not the cause, because most of the people, first as we said, most of the people had plastic surgery repeatedly, and also because those people had a psychological problem, which is not because of the plastic surgery, but because of the society itself. So we believe that the proposition should come up and address the core issue of the problem, not saying that because if we cut off cosmetic surgery, all the problems of the society tells these people to that the perspective of society, which is wrong, which is too objective. We believe that the proposition should address that problem. And three, lessen polarization, that if we ban this, there will be less polarization in society. What the proposition has told this House was that because cosmetic surgery is expensive, more rich people will have cosmetic surgery, and they will all become beautiful in the point of view of the society. And that they said that by outer appearance, we'll be able to see if that person is high society or low society. However, as I asked in my POI, I asked the proposition whether aren't they assuming that all high society people are going to go and get plastic surgery? And if they're assuming that all low society people aren't going to have the ability, aren't going to find a way to have cosmetic surgery itself. So we believe that this must be more elaborated on so cosmetic surgery itself does not make society more polarized than it is right now. And to further go on, our first point was that it revokes freedom of choice. We're banning cosmetic surgery. Let's say that I'm a woman. I'm unhappy with myself because my eyes are too small. And because society tells me that I'm so ugly, my self-esteem is so low, and I'm not able to behave in society well, and I'm not able to make friends because I'm constantly depressed that I'm so ugly. Well, and I want to have plastic surgery because it will relieve me, and the opposition believes that this is a freedom of choice. This is a freedom of choice to make on my body, which the state cannot violate, and also this leads to our second point, that it boosts self-esteem. If you were not satisfied with your appearance, as in the example of our first speaker said, if you have big ears that were protruding, and you were always teased as Dumbo. Would you like that, ladies and gentlemen? No. We believe that because society has that effect on people, we believe that cosmetic surgery actually helps these people. It boosts self-esteem. And to go on to our third argument, society judges people on appearance. This has been what we have telling you on and on and on, and what we have been telling the proposition on and on and on. Society is the core reason why cosmetic surgery, why these people are having cosmetic surgery. It's not because cosmetic surgery itself gives them the way to be beautiful. It's because the society tells them to be beautiful, and their only way of achieving their self-esteem, of boosting their self-esteem, it's by cosmetic surgery. And if we cut this way off, we believe that it will bring more detrimental harms, such as people injecting certain fluids in their bodies, or a fluctuation of the cosmetic black market. What have we told you today? We have correctly pointed out the problem of this issue is not because cosmetic surgery is in our society. We have directly pointed out that the reason why this issue is a problem is because of society itself, and banning cosmetic surgery itself will not be a good solution to this. It will bring more harmful, more detrimental effects to society. We believe that the person has freedom of choice, and also that plastic surgery boosts self-esteem, and also to emphasize on the problem of this issue is not on plastic surgery, it's on the society, and we believe that this motion should fall. Thank you.
Speaker spoke for 8 minutes, 15 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is the question of this debate? I believe the question is between freedom and the pursuit of happiness. This motion is taking away freedom and taking away people's ability to achieve happiness. Now, first of all, my first argument, which is that this does not harm anyone else. Why should it be illegal? This person is taking this risk upon themselves. Nobody else. No one else is at risk. They are taking all responsibility, and if they would like it, they can have it. And these rights, freedom of choice, is inalienable. This cannot be taken away, and this is why I find this motion so appalling. Secondly, by allowing these cosmetic surgeries, we are allowing people to take happiness into their own hands. Yes, this world is not utopian. People do judge others all the time, and sadly, it is on outer appearance. And in order to solve this problem efficiently, we must allow cosmetic surgery and allow it so that people can be more secure, they can improve their self-esteem, and they can have an overall better quality of life. So now, the examples they've provided examples such as Hollywood. Really, honestly, how does Hollywood reflect the real world? Is every citizen even close to someone in Hollywood? Furthermore, they've used people such as the Fan Woman and Michael Jackson, who have gone through repeated cosmetic surgeries. And as we know, any form of indulgence is bad. So now, I will rebuttal their arguments briefly. And that they say that this is a wrong form of perfection, and that we are striving for an unknown ideal, when really it is quite known what people are trying to attain. By simply, they say that in a very utopian manner, they say that by banning this cosmetic surgery, everyone's going to accept people for who they are, and we're all going to love each other regardless of what we look like. When really this is not the case. Realistically, what happens when things become illegal and banned? A black market forms. People are still going to go through cosmetic surgeries. It's simply going to cost more and be much more dangerous, which seems to be one of their main concerns, which is why we cannot allow this motion to stand. They say that this is a risk to public health, that this is very dangerous. And the truth is that their proposal would make this even more dangerous, as there would be no laws protecting patients if this was to emerge on the black market. And currently, while legal, this is safer than ever today. There are less freak accidents, and the ones that did occur occurred decades ago, and mostly through people who indulge themselves in plastic surgeries. And now, the most appalling argument of all, which is that there will be polarization in society due to cosmetic surgery. Well, let's look at society today. Elective cosmetic surgery is legal, but yet we do not see a very beautiful upper class and a disgusting lower class. No, we do not see that. We do not see every person, as they assumed, every single person in the high class having cosmetic surgeries and people in the lower class not. That is not what we see. So ladies and gentlemen, the issue here is freedom and the pursuit of happiness, ideals that cannot be taken away. By letting this motion stand, you are taking away people's basic freedom over their own body, something that should never be violated by the state. Furthermore, the pursuit of happiness. This is why people live. They live to achieve happiness. And however they attain that happiness is up to them. And by banning the elective cosmetic surgeries, you are not allowing people to achieve their own happiness. So it is up to you. If you stand for freedom and the pursuit of happiness, you will oppose this motion. Thank you.
Each one of you is ugly. Therefore, you're not happy. But let me heal you. I have this wonderful idea which is called plastic surgery. Take one, you'll be happy. You'll be beautiful. It's the healing device of the future, is what the negation is saying. Now let me tell you, plastic surgery does not heal. It's like a chocolate. When you feel depressed, you eat it. You feel good for a short term of time, but then you get depressed again because you see you did not reach the perfection. And that is why we stand here today to ban plastic surgery. And rather than that, have people who are really depressed go to a psychiatrist or similar institutions. But then they shifted in opinion when their speaker in the point of information admitted that cosmetic surgery is actually a weapon. But society is the perpetrator, so we should ban society. But I tell you something, maybe it is new for you. If we take away the weapon, it's really hard to hurt somebody. Firstly, freedom of choice. When are we allowed to limit freedom of choice? Suicide is being limited. Why is that? Because somebody can influence you into doing a suicide. And when they influence you, you commit suicide and you hurt yourself. It is the same as they admitted that throughout society, we are getting at a low rate of depression. It is ultimately high, and people are actually wanting to have such surgeries because the society is pushing them into this. In this account, we should be allowed to limit civil freedoms and freedoms of choice, as it is with suicides. Now let's take a look at the risk. They said that in their first speech, which is kind of hard to negate, that we will actually get a black market. But then in their first speech, they were contradicting themselves when they were saying that we actually have such high control of everything that is going on with plastic surgeries that there is no way that a mistake will happen. Clear contradiction on their side, so what are they standing for? Secondly, what they failed to negate, that people are already suffering because of plastic surgery. As I have told you, 3 to 4 months after the surgery, you suffer excruciating pain. And if something does go wrong, which we couldn't debate because they were contradicting themselves, then you cannot reverse that effect. And if you cannot reverse that effect, then I think you're much more depressed than you were before. As well as democracy. They're talking about how there is no democracy. But in fact, it is. It does exist. Rich people have a lot more plastic surgeries. And this will only increase of the future, which is another bad effect that they failed to fully negate. I believe that plastic surgery is a weapon in which we seem to agree. And if we take away that weapon, we will take away all the depression. And if we achieve that, then plastic surgery should be banned. In that point, they seem to agree with us that plastic surgery is a weapon. So we're telling you today, ban plastic surgery. And have the world see what real beauty is today. Because real beauty should be in the eye of the beholder. And real beauty can only be achieved if we do not allow them to eat all of those chocolates and actually feel that they get out of depression for a short periods of time. Because afterwards, they'll actually see that they go back into depression. If there would be no chocolates in the beginning, we could focus on the big issue that is currently going on, and resolve the problem. Thank you very much.